That's weird. Like, on my side, it's only saying that I've been back for 1 minute. Did it switch to a new live stream or what? This is so fucking stupid. I'm looking at the chat because OBS just crashed, of course. Okay, so what were your questions? There were some questions about depression or whatever. Ask them again. While I set this shit up. Is it back online or what? Can you see me? You think you see. Well, do you see or not? That's bullshit. YouTube Roy does not handle it very well. Fucking piece of shit. That camera is pretty much garbage. Wow. That is really horrible. Oh, great. Piece of crap better start working. Oh well. See you, Dylan Reichling. Yeah, now I'm all blown out. I'll just go back to the other one. This is not working. We'll have to work on the lighting in the workshop, that's for sure. Well, that's some firewood. Simon Nielsen asks, do you have any tips for dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts? Well, it depends on the age. I do not think that suicide is an impossible solution. I just think it's the final solution. A lot of people jump to suicide way too soon. If you have suicidal thoughts, the last thing you should do, or the first thing you should do right before you get to the point of wanting to do suicide, is just walk away. Walk away, and because like a lot of it is just because life is driving you insane. Modern society is not built for humans, or more like we're not built for modern society. And so a lot of people get really depressed about just life, and maybe it's just a time for a change. Instead of killing yourself, just go somewhere. Regarding depression, it's a good idea to figure out what sort of depression you have. Like, for instance, I guess two ways to think about depression would be, well, I guess what I'm talking about is like the source of the depression. Sometimes you're just depressed because you're just depressed for no reason, and that's pretty bad. But I would suspect that actually a lot of people that are depressed are actually depressed for good reasons. Like, there's a lot to be depressed about. And if you can find the source of your depression, then you can turn your depression into motivation. Like, basically you have like this giant boulder chasing you, like Indiana Jones. It's a good motivation because you know if you stop, the depression will just crush you. And if you realize that maybe your depression is because of your job or how you live in life, you should heed that warning from your mind and make the changes needed. Now, unfortunately, being very introspective and thinking about your, like questioning, like, why are you depressed? It's a very difficult process, and it's very, oh, what's the word? It's very abstract. It's a very abstract problem. And that's actually one reason why I went into these projects. Engineering and the such. Because engineering and all these types of things are physical problems. They're very easy to wrap your mind around. And it was easy to hide from my depression by ignoring the abstract problems I couldn't quite figure out and focusing on real physical things that I can look at and I can think. Like, okay, there's nails in the wood. I can think about that. But if you're trying to figure yourself out, it's like, how the fuck do you think about that? So at the very least, I was able to be a little bit productive while being very, very depressed. And it actually did help. But I found that it also kind of helped me, because later on I could also kind of focus more on the abstract things, and some things carried over from like learning how to just work through challenges and find solutions. Like I think for me, I do not have a very typical experience with depression. Because mine was from gender dysphoria, and so if I fix that, it fixed most of the problems. Whereas some people are just depressed, well, seemingly because of no reasons, but I would still think that there's probably a good reason for them to be depressed. Depression is your mind telling you something is wrong. And there are many, many things wrong with the world we live in, and wrong with the people that live in the world. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to be depressed. It's not fun, but it's reasonable. It makes sense. And that's my thoughts on that. Steve64464, it didn't get dark. It's just talking about stuff. Like, I think that killing yourself is not a cowardly move. I think anybody who says, like, oh, they were just a coward for killing themselves, like, that, to give away everything that you could ever possibly be, that's not cowardly. Might not be well thought out, but it's not cowardly. And I think that there's definitely a time and place. So what I did was, I wanted to commit suicide around 17 or so. And I realized, wait a minute. Why am I at 17 so intent on killing myself? Like I was even like going through like the different processes which would be easiest, and like trying to figure out which would be like the most pain-free. And it occurred to me, like, I need to give myself some more time because I was only 17 at the time. So I gave myself a 10-year suicide ultimatum. I was going to work as hard as I could to gain happiness in life by the time I hit 27. And I don't mean like I want to just be happy, but I mean I don't want to be tortured by depression. And it worked. I was able to gain the motivation to, like, at first I didn't know what to do, but whenever I saw opportunities, then I would kind of jump at them because, like, hey, I need to do this. I need to make my life better. And that ultimatum turned my suicidal wishes into motivation. And so I think that's pretty good, because depression is just your mind telling you that something's wrong, and there's a lot of things wrong with the world. Rock Bongo said, you seem to have anger issues. Is that how you generally are, or part of the transition? I actually don't have that many anger issues anymore. A lot of that is a bit of show. But here's the thing. Whenever I get frustrated, I actually just want to cry. But I can't cry around other people, because I feel so, like, I guess you could say vulnerable. But I hate it, and so actually I get angry at myself for wanting to cry. And so, but then on the YouTube video, that's not very accurate, because remember, I technically am playing a character on YouTube, because I speak differently, I act differently on camera, and people keep saying they really like whenever I get angry and kick stuff, and so that's why I kind of let myself do it. It's a good way to let myself do that. I used to be really bad at anger. I was very messed up before my gender transition, very, very messed up. And I definitely like myself now a lot better. Although, I still am embarrassed to cry sometimes. Like, there's been a couple times where I've been in meetings at Apple and stuff like that, and instead of getting angry, I would just kind of get really choked up, and I felt so stupid. But it's a better way to do it than it does feel more natural. It just still I feel dumb for having an emotional response to things. But it's far better than getting angry. Jack Thompson, are you attracted to men or women? What's your relationship history like? And any interest in starting a family? Definitely attracted to men. Definitely interested in starting a family. But I guess one thing that would be really nice is if I found a guy that had kids from like a previous marriage. That'd be really cool, because then I wouldn't have like the total responsibility, but I'd also get to be their friends. Because I don't know if I want to be a parent. I just want to help them like learn and like be their like really good friends and like help them out with life, basically give them facts. I guess that might be a parent. That might be like what a parent is. That's what my mom is to me. She's basically just a really good friend and looks out for me and helps guide me through life. So I kind of want to be like that. But I wouldn't have to be a parent for that. I could just be, well, I guess adopting would be a parent. I don't know. I think having a house that isn't empty would be really good. Nico M., what studies did you follow? I'm not sure what you're asking about that, because I try to learn in every field. John Comments asked, where do you see yourself in 14.5 years? In 14.5 years, I hope to be living in either Japan or Switzerland, and I hope to have several more companies made. I would hope to have a production company for liquid-fueled rocket engines, selling to universities, very inexpensive ones, ranging up to more expensive ones. And hopefully that can actually fund some of my bigger projects. Then I would also have inexpensive, low-cost, and cheap-to-produce wind turbines as another business, hopefully. Or I might just go get a job at SpaceX or some other company. I don't know. But I definitely don't want to be living in the U.S. for very long, because the culture just really, it irritates me. It really does. I've always felt like a foreigner. John Comments, what movie have you rewatched the most? Ooh. I don't really rewatch movies that much. Normally, I wait until I almost forget the movie, and then I rewatch it. Maybe something like Princess Bride, or like, I've seen Ghost in the Shell a good number of times. Pokemon movie, I used to watch that a lot. See, there's so many movies, like, I don't really like watching, rewatching movies when my list of movies to watch is so long. Nico M., what did I study? Well, I am studying. Like, I have books and everything. Like, I don't have any, I never went to school or anything. John Comments, if there is more pain in life than pleasure, then suicide does make logical sense. But yeah, should be a last resort. Actually, I disagree with that, because pain can still be a motivator. It's more like if you have a painful existence and you have no ability to improve that painful existence, that might be when you should contemplate suicide. But people don't realize how much effect they have, how much agency, how much control they have on things. And I talk to people and they just seem so fucking useless. They'll complain about something and then they won't actually do anything to change that thing. And it's like the thing that I've ranted about this a lot of times. I'm not sure if I ranted on here, but I'll see a construction worker throwing away old growth lumber into a dumpster, and I've actually had this happen where they talk to me like, "Man, this is some really nice lumber. It's a real shame to throw it away." And it's like, don't fucking throw it away. If you know it's not good to throw it away, don't throw it away. Why would you complain about it and then just keep doing your job throwing it away? It pisses me off. And I don't know where I was going with that, so I'm going to stop there. I think people are annoying if they're just so fucking useless, because I don't value weak people. Theortlov, actually I really wasn't brought up as a boy. My mom just brought me up as a kid, and so she didn't really care too much about what gender I wanted to be. And I didn't really have much of a masculine upbringing, to be honest. So I think it's normal to feel embarrassed for crying around other people. Well, mostly because I don't have any really good friends. I don't have anybody that I really care about. And so I still feel embarrassed whenever something gets to me. STE Lamo said, "Come to the UK." No way. You guys have a totalitarian government sapling that is slowly growing. You have a useless prime minister, a useless parliament, and you have some of the worst SJWs and like trans rights activists. Like they're all yelling in the streets like trans women are women, and then there's the other side that's like all trans women are men. It's like, oh my god, you guys are fucking cancer. And maybe we should just nuke the entire island. I mean, Fred Dibben is dead. What else does Britain have? And also, the thing that really bugs me about like the Brexit thing, fucking bugs me, because like you see these people, like you used to be an empire, a fucking world power, and now you're like cowering in fear that the European Union might not. Like, you're a European Union colony. You have given up your individuality just to be a colony of the European Union. And now that they're trying to, and now that most of your people want to leave, you're just so scared. It's like, it'll be fine. You were alone. You were like sovereign for millennia. And it was fine. Of course, like the Romans invaded and stuff like that. But still, just fucking get over it. God. I don't know if I could live in the UK. I'm too opinionated about that. US is fine, though, because I don't really pay attention to the US politics. It's all just kind of like popcorn. Funny stuff. Diesel Fiend said, "How do you know you wouldn't like the big cities in America, like more progressive and cosmopolitan areas?" Well, I lived in Silicon Valley for almost 2 years, and I had to deal with San Francisco and stuff like that, so that's pretty progressive or regressive. Jack Thompson. Yeah, I might get chest enlargement. Ever since I was 14, I've always just felt very insecure about having a flat chest. And it might be nice to have a more natural size. I don't know. Joe Dines, what's the time where you are? 5:45. Pixelbat, favorite salad dressing? Ranch is okay. St. Lemon. He said, yep, but no guns. Guns are fine. I like Switzerland because there's a lot of guns. Honestly, I think that the UK, or Britain, should fire all the MPs. Should dissolve Parliament and just start over. Because, yeah, you've got some real useless fuckers up there. That's for sure. John comments, are you okay with any gun restrictions at all? Like background checks. I think gun restrictions are good. I think it's good to keep people, well, it really depends. I think that people should be required to be parts of local gun clubs and have regular training, and it could be like a community event. And if somebody starts to have be mentally unstable, people would probably notice it. And collectively, as a community, like a local town, they could vote to remove their rights. Joe Dines, your government is just as bad with Trump as president. Yeah, but at least he's doing something. Trump seems to be doing an okay job, honestly. It's the two-party system that's been a problem, and the continual, stratification of the political opinions. It's so dumb. But I don't pay attention to American news that much, so whatever. What do I think about Germany or New Zealand? Germany's pretty authoritarian. Not very nice. Switzerland's pretty nice, though. I'm not a fan of Angela Merkel. New Zealand, really good. Theatlav, implants. I remember the gingerly looking forward to growing a pair once you got on progesterone. Did that fail to deliver? When I started progesterone, it did increase size quite a bit, but still, not enough. And so, I know a lot of people in the YouTube comments still refer to me by he, him, but honestly, in real life, everyone that's met me pretty much after 2017 has referred to me by female pronouns. And I haven't had any male pronouns from anybody that hasn't known me. Of course, I definitely understand that some people, they don't notice, oddly enough. Or they have a political or ideologically, they have a bias against it, and that's fine. So I only really count people who have never met me and don't know I'm trans. And it's just universally, everyone considers me female. So, I use the women's bathroom and no one has ever given me trouble. But I tried using the men's bathroom, and people kind of were like giving me trouble, like, you lost? It's like, oh, sorry, I'll go in the women's bathroom. So, honestly, I feel like I'm near the end of my transition, as far as I can go, at least. So, the only thing left are, like, the 2 surgeries, and I guess they'd be good. I'm just afraid of surgeries. Dota Clever Low, how do the hormones affect your endurance? Well, I'm still really bad at riding a bicycle for a long time. But, like, I can walk for miles and miles and miles still, and it seems fine. Like, I've not really noticed any problems. Whenever I try progesterone, though, I notice I can get a little sleepy from progesterone. Jack Thompson, do you believe in human-caused climate change? If you do, what should be done about it? I believe it's very obvious that we are affecting the planet. And I think that either way, it would be a more economical sense. Like, it would be more economical to switch to renewable energy, such as solar panels and wind power. And regardless of global warming, I think it would be a good idea to protect our environment. And one thing that I dislike is, as CO2 levels have risen, poison ivy has gotten more and more potent, and I hate that. So I can agree with that. Jamie Davis, I agree about Donald Trump. He has kept almost every promise he made, and he doesn't get bogged down with identity politics. He's also a bit of a troll, and honestly, I think he is kind of like a dumb old guy. So I think that's one thing that kind of gets him. But then, like, the thing is, we should all hate Trump, but then everyone else is actually even dumber. And so it's like, oh my God, Democrats, please stop making Trump look good. It's like, he had one job. Well, then again, like, Hillary totally gave up the election to him because she could have totally had that election, but then she had them focus on Donald Trump, and they don't understand that if you focus on someone, whether it's good or bad, it's still going to get people to like them. Family Guy and the other great animations. Sweetheart, you are the most amazing person I ever met. Well, thank you very much. I think we should go to Mars. I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk would let us do whatever we wanted if we designed our own cities on Mars. Although I'm not a huge fan of Mars. I think the moon would be much better. But, you know, the idea. I want to get off the planet, at least for a little bit. Then I'll come back with a fresh perspective. Muzpuz said, sorry, impeach Trump because he did sign ban trans military. You don't have a right to be in the military. I mean, people like below an IQ of 75 or whatever can't be in the military. You should be upset about those people not getting into the military. Like, honestly, there's so many restrictions on, like, super fat people can't be in the military or Air Force or whatever. So, like, that's a dumb hill to die on. Sid145, I'm back. What did I step into? The shop stream is going in all directions. Amazing. As always, keep up with the fantastic work. Thanks. Yeah, it is a bit... the conversation after 6 hours has finally gotten interesting. Pixelbound, I think Trump is playing the system well. He has the media and the Democrats right where he wants them, and they all hate it so much. Now, unfortunately, I think the problem with Trump, though, is that he's also... Well, the far left and the Democrats are very good at not convincing people to do what they want. Like, the secret to getting people to do what you want is to be reasonable, calm, loving, and compassionate. Like, most people that are hateful because they have honest fears, and then other people just insult them for having those fears. So they cement their view, and they just hate everything. That's what put the Nazis in power. The communists and the far left, or whatever, I guess Nazi was kind of left also, but they pissed everyone off to where they're like, you know what, fuck you, maybe we are racist. And I think that's probably what happened. Like, the Democrats and the far lefties, like the SJWs, are creating racists. Pixelbat, at Damien Towning, it's really not though. My life today is no different than it was 4 years ago, really. Exactly, like, who is in power doesn't really have that much of an impact. Although I do like how Trump has been removing a lot of unneeded regulations or whatever. This is nice. Juanito said, I really like the idea of interplanetary human life, but what I don't get about Musk and others, why invest so much resources to terraform a non-arable planet instead of saving our lovely Mother Earth? Well, I think the plan is to save both, is to end up with multiple planets that are nice and perfect. Like, he has Solar City and Tesla, and, well, they've merged now, but Musk is actually making a bigger impact in making the Earth better with the Tesla and stuff like that. The Art Live. As we say here in Russia, permutation of politicians does not change the sum of bribes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. Think we should maybe start the wood stove? Am I pro-choice or pro-life? Abortion is a bad thing, but we need it because people won't stop fucking. So I think it is useful. I think we shouldn't recommend it so readily because you are killing a baby, but at the same rate, we could avoid this problem if people stopped fucking. So that's my opinion of life or choice. See you, Muzzpuzz. Wait, Mogul said Musk did quite a few good things. You're spelling. For humanity so far. Some stupid things like the Boring Company, too, but that's probably just a media attention machine. Are you a fucking moron? I think you're a fucking idiot if you think the Boring Company is not really amazing. Do you know how much they have lowered the cost of drilling tunnels? Like, yeah, you need to rethink your view on things if you think the Boring Company is a stupid experiment. It's a very good experiment, and they're doing a really cool job. So, yeah, I think you need to rethink your stance on that, because hope you're not buying into the negative story set out by the short sellers, just trying to attack anything that Elon Musk does. Actually, pretty diesel fiends. The world population is actually going to decline. Like the population of Japan is declining. The population of the United States, I think, aside, if it weren't for like immigration, it would be declining. And so pretty much, we would pretty soon, whenever everything is every country's brought up to current level of technology, we're actually going to have a lowering of the number of people on the planet. Joe Dines, do you PM at all? Do you mean private message? I use Twitter because YouTube doesn't have a PM system anymore. Luke Hrestovec, right to repair, any opinion? Depends on the thing. Self-driving car, not so sure about that, because you could mess up the self-driving aspect and actually kill somebody. I don't know. I think as long as they give the option to where they'll repair it, and then as long as they don't come after anybody that tries to repair it, like, I don't know. I think Apple is overstepping their bounds a lot, but at the same rate, I can understand, because anytime a third-party repair shop does a bad repair on like an iPhone or something like that, the people don't complain about the repair shop. They're like, oh, this damn Apple, always breaking on me. It's like, no, it's because you brought it to some idiot that's only seen like 20 iPhones in their life. Thunderfoot's also kind of an idiot in many ways, so don't put too much. Like, he should stick to his science videos. Not everything that he debunks, he does a very good job at. Like, with Tesla and stuff like that, and the SpaceX projects, he's tried to do that. I agree. Hyperloop is very dangerous, but he really does jump onto it as if it's just a scam. And, yeah, that's not quite. Jack Thompson, they're not going to have a subway station. You know, like, so the system that they're advocating for won't need stations. It'll have, well, not like a normal station, at least. It'll have elevators, but not stations. And hopefully they'll be cheaper. But since when are we complaining about somebody doing something that's already been done? I mean, like, are you going to complain to anybody trying to make a high-speed rail? Like, Japan already has a high-speed rail. Who cares? That's old technology. It's like, I don't know. Diesel Fiend. Anyone watching the Rich Rebuilds channel with salvage test repairs? He's an idiot. I gotta say, Rich Rebuilds seems like a real idiot. Rich Rebuilds is a good example of, he changed my mind of why people shouldn't have the ability to fix their Teslas. Because, like, he's just gonna get somebody killed. And I do not trust, I hope that Tesla makes their hardware where it can check itself to make sure that, like, someone like Rich Rebuilds hasn't totally fucked it up. Come on. That's a lot of progress we got through. I got through. You guys aren't doing any work. Tell you what, I'm going to use the restroom, and I'll catch up in the comments. I'm back. I'll answer some comments, eat a little bit, and then we'll start up the furnace if I feel like it, or the stove. Oh, the sound of the workshop. There's the grain silos, and they have like really big fans going. That might be what you're hearing. See, like, another thing, like, we're so wasteful, it's hard to escape it. These individual packages of meat, like, that's plastic that's going to go to waste. Such a shame. Sometimes I like eating just a packet by itself, though. I like to take the ham. No bread. I eat a lot of bread. Do you mean toning? I think you're wrong. I think Teslas are going to last quite a while. Your Nissan Leaf can last a long time without much maintenance. This is Walmart ham, by the way. I plan to make my own bread, Lexi Haley. American bread has too much sugar in it. If I'm going to make bread, I would have no sugar in it. It tastes like cake. Do you mean toning? I know you've been driving a 20-year car. It's gone 500,000 miles, but or kilometers or whatever. But how many repairs has it done? How many oil changes? An electric car does not need an oil change. It doesn't need maintenance. I'm not sure what you're saying about salamanders. You mean it's like a heater? I'm not sure. The geese are flying north. In Vatican, you can send me on Twitter, Renoa SG. Dolphin friend, what maintenance does the mechanical aspects of an electric car need? I'm not talking about tires. The battery's going to last like 50 years. Retrotech and more said, I don't understand why PewDiePie is the biggest YouTuber. Well, he's pretty much the best YouTuber in my opinion. I love PewDiePie. He's so great. He's gotten better. Lately. Jack Thompson, have you ever smoked weed or any hard drugs? Sadly, no. I had the chance to do weed out in California, and it probably would have helped me stay less stressed, but I decided not to. I didn't like the smell. Electric cars do not have transmissions, unless they're made badly. It's 6:30 here. I might call it quits pretty soon. It's pretty much good enough for today. How far am I from the train line? 100 meters? About 100 meters. Jack Thompson, who do you think will win the Super Bowl? PewDiePie. So when's the Super Bowl? Mike Foreman said, I believe Teslas have a single-speed gearbox that uses automatic transmission fluid. I'm pretty sure that they have two, just gearing for each one. They're not no transmission. Jack Thompson said, who is your celebrity crush? Well, I don't like the idea of crushes because I know they'll never come to fruition, so I'm just wasting time. But I think Jake Gyllenhaal, or whatever, he's a really handsome looking guy. But PewDiePie is pretty handsome too, that's for sure. What do I think about the experimental fusion reactor that's built in France? Good or bad? You mean ITER? I-T-E-R? I think it's a huge waste of money because I don't think it's actually going to work very well. And we could have had it working in the 80s with that huge tandem mirror experiment, whatever it's called. Jack Thompson, where do you get your news from? A little bit from Philip DeFranco, but I'm not a huge fan of him. I mean, he's okay. It's just he has a lot. I skip through most of his episodes, but every so often there will be like YouTube news. PewDiePie, Sargon of Akkad, Level 1 Techs with Wendell, Ryan, and Krista. And then that's pretty much it. I do like Tesla Ratty, the website. Doyle Clever Loeb, 1. Dating men, women, trans preferences, also difficult and impossible in your town. I would never date anyone around here because they're a bunch of idiots. And I probably wouldn't even really want to date an American. Because Americans just, they are not nice to be around for the most part. But I guess how I'd say it is, I could see myself being interested in a man, but with a woman, they would have to be like really amazing and show interest in me before I'd be like, oh, well, maybe actually that would be interesting. I would not think to like be interested in a woman at first, you know, like, but I don't discriminate. I'm just kind of like, it depends on the person, not necessarily what gender or sex they are. KY Ford truck, excuse me. You're excused. Chris Aerosmith, have you seen the Backyard Scientist on YouTube? He's actually subscribed to me. Backyard Scientist watches my videos, just FYI. He's my biggest and my most popular subscriber, by far. Well, there's a few other channels that have a couple million views. But, yeah, I definitely seen him. He's okay. Actually, I'm going to look it up. I wonder if there's any way to find, like, my subscribers. Hey, if you just type in youtube.com/subscribers, you'll find it. So, Backyard Scientist, Backyard Scientist is my most popular viewer. Has 4 million views. Aquachigger has 1 million. He's subscribed to me. Dust has 500,000. Tanya Steve's 500,000. Hand Tool Rescue is subscribed. Roy Tactics. Lawful Masters with Leonard French. That's a shame. Looks like Arduino vs. Evil unsubscribed. I can understand though, because I don't watch his videos that much either. We're just friends. Rodalco 2007, Life Buzzin', all those ones. My Playhouse. He only has 46,000. I still have more subscribers than Morton Hjort. Holy shit. I'm gonna hold that over his head. Like, haha, I have more subs than you. So therefore, I am worth more. The Tutorial Gamer. Hey, what's your opinion on those YouTubers who advertised mystery brand that gambling controversy? Most of them were fucking retarded, and you should be embarrassed to even watch them in the first place. So I don't think it's that much of a change. Disrupt IT. Yeah, I'm kind of like a celebrity here, a little bit. What am I going to use for insulation in the workshop? The blown cellulose insulation that I recycled. And I have about 500 pounds of that, and that'll hopefully give me about like an R16 insulation factor in the wall, so that's good. Because I have like 5 inches, and 5 times 3.5, and stuff like that. Light and slim. Don't smoke weed. It's dumb. Trust me, it's a waste of brain cells. Weed doesn't ruin your brain cells. And it actually does have a lot of uses. So it really depends on how you use it. Because I know a lot of people that used it to help relax at the end of the day. And I wish I'd done that. Jack Thompson. I bet you'll get a silver play button in 2019 and a gold in 2021. Well, I definitely hope I get a silver in 2019, because then otherwise I would have been YouTubing for a decade and still not gotten a silver. And I really hope that when I start my rocketry videos, since they seem so popular, hopefully I can finally get more viewers. So I'm glad I built this workshop. And a part of me is thinking I might just forego putting up the insulation, because pretty soon it's going to be like spring, and maybe I should like save this until August or something like that, like when it's really hot, then I'll start putting up insulation. I don't know. Well, the thing about marijuana is that if it can help you, like at Apple, I would come home from work, I would just fall in bed and then cry for half an hour, and then usually I'd read some stuff on the internet, and then I'd go to sleep, and then I'd wake up and then go directly back to work and start all over, and I'd come home and cry, and it's really stressful. And I bet if I had weed, I probably wouldn't have to be so emotionally stressed out from that job. Because it's not like it was anything in particular. It's like overly stressed about everything. Maximilian Dvorak. Wait, when did you start YouTube? First channel was in 2008, but I started this channel in 2009. And Vitagun, what happened to your old homemade subscriber plaques? They're still hanging up in the hallway. Jack Thompson, how much do you make per year at Apple? Something like 100,000 a year. I'm not sure. It was something like that. I didn't have to worry about it because there was enough money. Although living out there is pretty expensive, so it was very easy to, like, I had to be very careful to be as frugal as possible. Yeah, I have all my Ruri Kagamin. Actually, I still have the 2000, 4000 plaques that I made. Yeah, I still have all of them. I have everything back to 1000. They're all on the wall in the house. Yeah, Damien Downing, I believe that Egyptian mummies have actually been found to have like cocaine and marijuana in them. So we were obviously doing it for thousands and thousands of years. Yes, they did. They did go nuts over the drugs and the mummies. And a lot of them are still in denial about it. That's one thing I really dislike about science. Is a lot of science now is very unscientific. There's a lot of really cranky old men that if something doesn't go how they want, then they'll just ignore it. Damien Towning, I think it's not very strange to think that the New World wasn't the only place that had it. I mean, let's be honest. There's a very good chance that the other stuff was from other places. Like, just because we only know it over here now, doesn't mean there wasn't a type of plant over there then. You know what? I think I might be able to actually get this pile right here. What do you guys think? Maybe I should start with the furnace. What do you think? Anime MGTOW Blade 2. Do you have any reading? Do you enjoy reading? If so, do you have any ebooks or any books you would recommend? I love manga, and I would definitely recommend reading Planetess by Makoto Yakimura. He is really good. Or Motoko or Makoto. I can't remember which way it was. But Yakimura was the one. He now he does the Vinland Saga. I really wish he would stop the Vinland Saga and go back to Planetess, because I really like Planetess. Start the furnace. I shall start the furnace. All right. Let's see if the other camera does a better job of the low light. We'll see. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Frame rate's pretty bad. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna undo that and see if I can. I'm gonna unplug that USB camera and plug it back in because it's been plugged in for like 6 hours. Now it's plugged back in. Maybe like reboot it or something. Is that better frame rate? That might be better frame rate. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Can you guys hear the fire okay? I'm gonna read comments on my phone just to, so I don't have to mess with the laptop too much. Oh. My friend with the 1909 house just texted me saying he had a ceiling fan for me. I said, want a ceiling fan? Light? Stinks, but it works. I'm going to reply, yeah. Popping quite a bit. That's some good heat though. That's not going to work. No Wi-Fi out here. Never mind. We're getting a bit full of smoke out here. I'm gonna let it go in there. It's all smoky up there. It's really nice to have that thing burning. Smoke's kind of clearing away. There's so many holes in this place still that it's not really doing much. Almost caught up. One godless monkey asks, is YouTube your full-time job? Currently, yes. Sadly, there's not enough room to really sit next to it and have video, and plus most of the time it's closed anyway, so oh well, but hopefully you guys can still hear it. Mads asked if I have a cold. No, I just always have the sniffles, just kind of all year round. Mostly it's because of all the junk that I'm stirring up. Like, these boards have a lot of dust on them. Mads asked, random question, have you messed around with makeup yet? Not in a video, just in general. I've never really messed around too much, but my mother has, she got me to use some chapstick that has a little bit of a tinting in it, and it's like, I like it because it makes my lips not look so pale, and so I guess it's like my first step into makeup. Thanks, Mom. I am all caught up, thankfully enough. Let's check the fire. Oh, that's nice. Very, very nice. Oh, we got some nice heat coming up. I'll toss some more wood in there. It actually might not be sweater weather for too long if I keep that up. I think it might be a good idea to go back to doing wood reclamation.